sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all punch that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. We are live here tonight. We are going to open it up. I'm going to drop the link. Let some of y'all come in and chat it up with me about the Miami Dolphins. What's on your mind? What are you thinking? But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, Tyree Hill, Jonnu Smith, and Zach Sieler could all be traded. Excuse me. This is a real possibility that we need to talk about, okay? I'm going to give you the ins and outs on why each of these guys could be traded. I think Jonnu Smith's is obvious. We've already talked about that. We've already been through that for the most part. Y'all give me a second. Let me get my lighting right. I didn't even get it on. So y'all give me one moment while I straighten up my lighting. As you hit the like button, okay? Punch that like button while I get my lighting correct, all right? One moment. All right, that's totally different, huh? Very bright now. We bright, we ready. All right. Yes, but punch that like button, ladies and gentlemen. But Jonnu Smith, I think that one's pretty obvious. We've already talked to that in great detail. We're gonna get into the Zach Sieler. We kind of talked about it, but his contractual situation, wanting some more guaranteed money potentially, or even an extension on his current deal plus a raise, could be an issue for the Miami Dolphins. But the biggest one, Tyree Hill. Tyree Hill, ladies and gentlemen. I used to say, they gave Tyreek extra money and, it's no way they can get rid of him. But I didn't know that a part of Tyreek's contract, he has a 14.9, if I'm not mistaken, almost $15 million roster bonus that's due to him if he's still on the roster by the end of training camp, if I'm not mistaken. Tyreek Hill has a $15 million roster bonus that'll be due to him if he's on the roster. That alone could be savings for Miami if they decide that they want to trade him and move on from him, and additional savings if the acquiring team may want to pick up some of the cap. So this is why these are critical moments for the Miami Dolphins. If Ramsey gets shipped off, which is highly likely, and then Jonnu gets shipped off, I am telling you now, the Miami Dolphins could very well say, man, who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Let's go ahead and go ahead and rewrite the ship now and move on from Zach Sieler and Tyree Hill. At least get some assets for them now while they're worth something. This could very well be the case because here's what I do know. McDaniel is man, he's up the creek. Like, they are giving this man a roster that is mightily depleted based off of what he had just 2 years ago. When you really think about having a Connor Williams, a Teron Armstead, a Robert Hunt, a Christian Wilkins, a Javon Holland, and a few more others like Jalen Ramsey, obviously, potentially Jonnu Smith. These are top-notch players, and for them to be pretty much on their way out the door or gone already, this roster, and what have we replaced it with? What have we placed on the roster that's just over and beyond replacing them? What, one draft pick and Kenneth Grant? Some could say, our guard that we drafted this year, but we'll see. This team is mightily depleted from what it was before. And, I'm going to be honest. Mike McDaniel's going to have to show that he can coach young guys that aren't with no names and make them something like Brian Flores did with a lot of these guys. A lot of these no-name guys, he had them playing at a high level. McDaniel's going to have to prove that. And if he's unable to prove that, man, we're in trouble. He's in trouble. We're going to talk about it tomorrow night on the Dolphins Collective, but McDaniel's the number one coach on the hot seat right now. He's number one in the NFL on the hot seat, the odds say. And that's not good for him, man. It's just not good. But yeah, and a lot of people, when I do these streams and I talk about stuff like this, people keep saying, okay, TD, what would you do? What should we do in your opinion? Well, and nobody likes to hear it, but I've been telling y'all for a long time what we should do. And the reality is the reality. What we should do is reset this bad boy and come on. Like, who are we kidding? What are we doing? We're just wasting money, time, and resource. That's all we're doing. Right? Like, I don't want to be the negative Nancy. I don't want to be the party pooper, but this isn't a Super Bowl winning roster. This is not a roster that's built to win a Super Bowl. Because that's all that matters to me. I don't care about, you could even tell me this roster is built to go to an AFC championship game, but not win a Super Bowl, then I don't want it. And trust me, if it was built to win an go to the AFC championship, then you should be built to win a Super Bowl or compete for one. But this isn't that kind of roster. So when you ask me that question, what should we do then in your opinion? And now what? What would you do? I would trade Tyree Hill and get some type of asset that we could utilize in the draft next year. You're already trading Ramsey. I would trade Jonnu and get an asset. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I would trade Zach Sieler. I would trade Sieler. Go ahead and let him get some more money somewhere else. He's proven himself. But what are we going to do? Run up the next 2 to 3 years of whatever bit of prime he has left, and then hopefully when we're ready to compete, he's not the same version, then we got to replace him anyway? No. This is the problem with Miami. We keep on having these players that we're technically wasting their time, and they're wasting our time. I said this years ago about Xavier Howard. When everybody was like, this guy's a clown, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, he wants to trade our best player, why would we move on from Xavier Howard? I literally said this 4 years ago. And those who are watching this channel, y'all know I'm not lying. I was the first one when Xavier Howard was in his prime, going to Pro Bowls with crazy stats. I was the first one saying trade X now when his value is at his highest. And I got crucified for it. Oh, you don't know. Why would you do that? He's our best player. Because by the time we're ready to truly compete, he's going to be old and he's going to be past this prime. Do you know what we could have gotten for X in his prime? Maybe a first-round pick. And what did you end up doing? Wasting time and letting them get injuries and get older just to say, hey, post June 1st cut, which we were still eating dead cap from him, by the way. Post June 1st cut and never got anything from him. Like sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you can project out the future. You can look at the roster and project out the future and say, what makes sense? What makes sense? So when you look at the roster today, if you truly do believe that this isn't a Super Bowl winning roster, so if this isn't a Super Bowl winning roster, we can forget about this year. And then next year, we're definitely going to have like Tyreek, Chubb, and those guys gone. And even if you replace them with 2 good players, that still isn't going to be a Super Bowl roster. There go 2 years. And I'll stop right there because you don't know what year 3 or past that has to offer. But if you know the next 2 years probably isn't even going to be a Super Bowl type roster, then you need to look at your roster and say, who's 29, who's 30, who has an expiring contract that has value? And that's Jonnu Smith and Zach Sieler and Tyree Hill and Bradley Chubb. Those are the last 4. The rest of those guys at safety we brought in and stuff, they're only on a 1 year deal type deal anyway. But those 4 guys, you got to go get what assets you can now for them. Tony H said trading Sieler is kind of wild for real, for real. It's not wild. It's the only reason you feel it's wild is because you're holding on to hope that we can do something special this year or next year. If something could tell you right now, 1,000% without a shadow of a doubt, the next 2 years are a waste. We are not going to do nothing special. Then would you believe trading Sieler right now is weird? Because he only probably got 2 years left of high level play. Look, he's getting older too. He's getting older as well. The only reason you would feel like it's wild is because you still have aspirations for now. That's why. You still believe that right now, if we stay healthy, yeah, we can do something special. We can go to a Super Bowl, baby. If all the stars align, you know, that's what you believe. Which is the lowest level of probability, by the way. Anything's possible, but it is the lowest level of probability. So that's what I'm saying. It's just a matter of what you believe in its current state right now about the current roster and the future of it for the next this year and next year. What do you believe? TD, does that mean Brooks could be gone soon? His contract already has his expiration within the next 2 years, so we don't even have to. I mean, he's even an asset to trade. Take a brief intermission and shout out to Flick Shorts with the donation. Said, just saying, all of this is happening because of non-first round pick in the 2020 draft and our front office who has zero accountability, all because of Tua. I'll trade Ramsey, Hill, Sieler, Smith. I'll trade Ramsey and Hill, Sieler, and Smith. I keep for now. You get a blocking tight end for the run. Well, once again, Burgos, it's because you're trying to figure out a way where the team could still be good this year. That's all this is about. It's a fundamental difference on whether you think that we can. And no. I don't think any of y'all think that we could do something special like a Super Bowl. Some of y'all just think that, we could have some success. We could try some. We hope. That's all it is. It's hope. It's hope. To say you would trade Ramsey and Hill, foregone conclusion. We get it. But to say you would keep Sieler and Smith, it's just because of hope. That's it. It's hope. But once again, if I told you that the next 2 years, without a shadow of a doubt, we are not going to do anything special, then you're going to be wasting Sieler and Smith's 2 years of what they probably have left of their prime, when you could have gotten at least a decent asset for both of them. I don't care if it was a 5th round pick, a decent asset. See, that's the problem with the Dolphins. We know how to get nothing out of our losses like no other. Too many losses that we got nothing out of. I told y'all last year, we not going to no playoffs. Trade Calais Campbell now. Well, no, we don't want to get rid of him. If we fall out of contention, then we'll trade him. Trade deadline is here. We still in contention, and I'm telling y'all, we are not going. Get what you can for Calais now. A team wanted him so bad, they probably would have gave a 5th for an old man because of at the moment. Baltimore wanted him. He would have been huge for Baltimore in them playoffs. Could have made the difference. And instead, we waste the rest of the season, don't make it. He goes on to Arizona and we get nothing. Come on, man. And I hope he accounts for the compensatory formula. I'll see. I got to find out. But the problem that we always have too is always these guys that still also under contract that we end up cutting or something, like X was with the post June 1st cut. I get it, A. Burgos. The season is not written. I've seen worse rosters perform. Chill, fam. And I'm sorry, you the homie, but I got to call you out. Name the worst roster performing. You just dropped the worst roster in the year that performed. Please enlighten us in the chat. See, this is where I got to call you out because you're not going to find it. And when I say performing, we are even if you found a roster, they didn't win a Super Bowl. That's the point. That's the point. The goal is the Lombardi Trophy. You build for that, not for some random playoff appearance to lose in the first round and then rebuild all over again. See, we talked about this in the last stream we had too. A lot of people feel like success is just making the playoffs. This is why we've always been in purgatory, because a large part of the fan base, they equate success as making the playoffs. As long as we make the playoffs or just miss it, which means we're that close, in our brain, hey, we're right there when we are so far away. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, on this channel, on this podcast, you got to understand, I only speak in Super Bowls. I do recognize the process to get there. But you can't tell me when you max out in top tier all pro players and have a loaded top end roster and you lose in the first round. No, there ain't no process. You've already maxed out with the max roster. This is just not it. This is what people don't understand. I want you to take the Commanders last year. Go look at their roster with Noah Igbenogany starting at the corner position, by the way. Look at that roster. That you can have confidence in the process of building for bigger and better. They didn't have top end players all up and down the roster. You probably can't name more than 5 stars on that roster. And even if you name 5, 3 of them became stars last year. But that's the type of production and success that you can say there's a process that you can follow. Now, this year, they went in free agency and a draft, and they've loaded up, which is crazy. You've already exceeded what the Miami Dolphins have done with way less, and now you load up, their future's bright. When Houston came out CJ's first year and made the playoffs, they didn't have like everything, maybe a few receivers, but the roster as a whole wasn't everything. But that's what you build upon. Just like Green Bay with Jordan Love, they didn't have everything, but they proved this is what you can build upon. But for the Miami Dolphins to literally load up their roster with all pros and Pro Bowlers and can't even win a playoff game, you don't realize how far behind the sticks we are. We're out here fighting just to say we made the playoffs. That was a success. It's not a success. To whose standard? You know how people always say things like, oh, you're moving the goalposts. Well, I'm calling other people out. Y'all are moving the goalposts. Several years ago, we already determined what would be success. People said, in the first year, win 10 games, wild card, and even if you lose, it's okay. And we didn't. Then the next year, just make the playoffs. And our guy got hurt. Next year, man, even though we've struggled, we just need to win the division. Let's start there. Making the playoffs is less than winning the division, just so you know. We make the playoffs, but we don't win the division. The next year, we bring it right back down. Okay, just make the playoffs. Like these, look at our standard. Like when we got to year 4 and 5, 3, 4, and 5 or whatever, before all this started, we said after 3 years, we should be in an AFC championship game. 4 years, we should be competing for a Super Bowl. 5 years, we want to win a Super Bowl, but as long as we go, even if we don't win it, you can't guarantee it. Just be in that championship round or above, and that's success within 5 years. And we haven't even won a playoff game and only had 2 playoff appearances in the 5 years. And people are out here still saying, hey, we've had some success. And by gosh, if I hear that all famous, number 1 offense in the league that 1 year, oh my gosh, can y'all please stop using that? Shout out to the homie Flick Short said, scratch that. Let's protest for clean sweep rebuild. There ain't no protesting in the Dolphins community. We so divided it ain't gonna matter. Shout out to the homie on the Blitz pickup. Tony A said, he gifted 5 memberships. He's showing big time love to the channel. He just gifted to a Tuesday 1324. Also, Mar Justice, DK Monkey, Mr. Fanatic, and Endless all just got gifted a membership. Salute to you, Tony, and thank you for paying it forward, blessing some of the other viewers of the channel. All right. If you want to become a member of the channel to show your love and support the TD Fans Talking what we do here on a regular basis, just hit that join button and show your love and appreciation to the channel. And also you have the ability to bless others like Tony just did. So if you want to give memberships to 1 person, 3 people, 5 people, 7 people, 10 people, 1 million people, whatever it is, just go ahead and gift it through the same join button. Paying it forward is greatly appreciated. All right. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you, man. But yes, listen, y'all. A lot of times, man, when we talk like this, I'm going to admit to you, I'm defending myself. When we had these conversations, technically, I'm defending myself. Because anybody who's watched this channel over the years, you can all actually contest to the scrutiny, backlash, criticism, attacks that I've taken for my opinions on the team. But yet here we are today. So many of them, I mean, probably 90% of them have come true exactly the way that I said. But the fire I took just to present it ahead of time impacts me in a negative way in this channel, which is sad. And I never claimed to know it all. Matter of fact, I don't know anything more than many of you all. But I just use my logic and reason behind all the things that we talk about to make a hypothesis, an educated guess on what I think is about to go down with the team based off of what we see right in front of our own eyes. And no, I do not operate off of hopium. No, I do not operate off of blind optimism. You got to give me something to be optimistic about, like Chop Robinson. When we drafted him, I said, well, I think he's weak. And when I say weak, not a weak person, I just think that he's not strong to be able to bull rush and push through tackles. I think he got to win by speed. It still serves the same, in my opinion, but he left us with optimism. His rookie year, he did enough to leave us with optimism where we can be like, you know what? This might be going somewhere special. That's whenever I show my optimism, when you give me something to be optimistic about. But they always say, why are you so negative about everything regarding the team? I'm not negative. I'm just not optimistic because it's a lie to be optimistic about most of the stuff with this team. I'm supposed to be optimistic about Jalen Phillips coming fresh off of back-to-back major injuries, and we never seen him peak at a level that's like, oh my gosh. No, I'm supposed to be optimistic about Chop Robinson, the guy we traded for, never really lived up to what we traded for, but we all feel like he still got it in him. He got to just show it. No. I'm supposed to be optimistic about that. I'm supposed to be optimistic about Cam Smith, who can't even get on the field. I'm supposed to be optimistic. Come on. About two safeties that were backups on their previous team that couldn't even get the starting playing time. Might be solid, but I can't be optimistic on that. I'm supposed to just feel like Eichenberg is about to have an all-pro year? No, why? Austin Jackson is about to reach an elite level? No, he showed us. He's a good tackle, but he ain't nothing special or great. I'm supposed to think Patrick Paul is about to be the next Teron Armstead? What do I have to believe that? I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic. Based off of what they've given us to believe. And I'm asking the team to give me something to be optimistic about. And to be fair, let me open my brain to say, what can I be optimistic about? You know what? I could be optimistic about Chop Robinson. And I find myself pausing and saying, you know what? I can be optimistic about Sieler, but can I? Is he even going to be here? I mean, is he going to get more money? Every time I try to find something optimistic, there's something like, yeah, but like I can sit here and say, well, you could be optimistic about A-Chain. Why? He been getting hurt. He still ain't finish out strong in the season. To be quite honest with you, we going crazy over him having 3 games of over 150 or 200 yards. But outside of that, I mean, I ain't got nothing longevity and long-term to feel cemented about. Maybe y'all have it. Is there anything I'm missing that I could be optimistic about? Maybe y'all could tell me. And I'm open to it. Educate me so I can be like, you know what? You're right. Let me start saying that more and believing in it. I'm telling y'all, on this whole roster, it's crazy that the only person I can be optimistic about maybe is Chop Robinson right now. And I'm not going to be optimistic about no rookie who ain't played a snap in the NFL. And I'm sitting here peeking at the chat like maybe somebody will give me a name. Jordan Brooks, this is a temporary move for the Dolphins. He ain't going to be here in 3 years. Like, I'm looking for our where is our long-term people? Like, when you look at our roster, nobody's long-term but Waddle and Tua right now. Nobody. Like, we ain't even got... There ain't a person on our roster that I can be optimistic gonna be a Dolphin for 10 years. You can't name the one person on the roster that we could be optimistic that they will be a Miami Dolphin for 10 years. The generational player who ends up in the Ring of Honor because they're ours, we love them, and we know that we got our guy. There ain't a single player on the roster. Not one. Not one. Say I don't even understand what Miami doing. When you look at your roster and you don't have one person that you believe he could end up being here for 10 years. No, we don't have one. First of all, to even include them, they have to already be off their rookie contract. They have to already be off their rookie contract with the long-term extension already. And there's only 2 people on this team, which is Waddle and Tua. And I don't think Tua making it 10 years. And Waddle, maybe, but I don't know. You know, it's oh my gosh. Shout out to the homie JD the Great, been a member for 31 months. Huge, man. He said it's time to move on from all players over the age of 27. Also, let the rookies and second season players play the season. Yeah, see what you got. But the problem is we don't want to do any of that because we're in a shift. We're in a bad situation where, truth be told, McDaniel and Greer could be gone next year. So you can't even evaluate anything for the future because you got to see what they do in the most extreme conditions that they're going to have to deal with this year. Glenn, my brother, he just blessed us. He says, so you want McDaniels to give all his good players away when he is on the hot seat? That would be coaching suicide. Glenn, they've already given him the weapon to do it to himself. I'm just talking about looking out for the future of the team. They've already done it. I mean, Glenn, the man doesn't have a starting corner nor a starting safety. I'm talking about real, like, oh, yeah, we good. The man ain't got a starting secondary. The man don't have tight end if they don't figure this Jonnu thing out. And it ain't his decision, Glenn. You think Mike McDaniel is the one that's like, yeah, trade Jonnu? Remember, the Dolphins are the ones who put him on the trade block and initiated with other teams. These other teams didn't call, hey, what's up with Jonnu? No, the Dolphins, when he wanted more money, they looked at it like, nah, we can't do it. We're going to see if we can find somewhere for you to go. Let's make sure we understand that factual detail here that was reported, that it was the Dolphins who said, yeah, we'll try to find somewhere to trade you because we can't give you that. So this ain't McDaniel's decision. If it was, McDaniel would pay everybody. As he did, and it's been slapping us smack dab in the face. As he already did. So it doesn't matter what this is for McDaniel. McDaniel has no say. He just got to do his job and coach whatever they give him. And you know why? There's only one reason it's okay where you can't feel bad for McDaniel. There's only one reason, Glenn. There's only one reason you cannot feel bad for Mike McDaniel. Because his predecessor had even less and won just as many games. Don't forget, our first time going to the playoffs with McDaniel, Flores won the same amount of games. Just the AFC was tougher. So we didn't get in under Flores. So now you're about to live with a Flores-like roster and still less because you ain't had no Tyree. It's still less. So that's why you can't feel bad for him. You should at least be able to do what Flores did. 9-10 wins. I mean, I think y'all be forgetting. Flores ain't had no secondary either. So, yeah, let's get it done. This is why. This is his test. And I believe if he can win enough games to make the playoffs, they may consider, you know what, we're going to, or maybe just miss the playoffs with like 9 or 10 wins and miss the playoffs. They might say, hey, you know what, let's rebuild this and you can stay. But if you don't at least hit that Flores mark, you cannot win 8 games or less. You're done. You're fired if you do. High probability of that. No way. Shout out to Scandala with the donation. Said, TD, your thoughts on Mike McCarthy as a potential head coach candidate next year? He gets a bad rap, but any head coach under Jerry Jones always has more their hands tied. We need to shake it up with an experienced head coach. Yeah, I agree with the potential experienced head coach, but here's my thing, man. I'm not a huge fan of McCarthy. I understand he gets a bad rap, but He's not vocal enough for me. He's not vocal enough for me. And he's a tough-nosed coach, but not out in the open. But here's the thing, man. Veteran coaches, like, here's what I don't understand. Why would Miami go back to a more stern coach when they got rid of one because of the issue? Unless, they're going to be moving on from quarterback. That could be a possibility. Could be a possibility. So I wouldn't know who I would want as coach right now, to be quite honest with you. It's so early to even talk about it or think about it. I wouldn't know who I would want and what the right candidate would be. But what I will tell you, I need somebody about business. Put the coach before the players. Just because today's NFL is changing, don't change with it. Put the coach above the players as they should be. Somebody don't like what the coach is saying. You see what they doing now? Ramsey them and all of them got problems with McDaniel. They shipping the players out. You should have did that back in the day when Flores was here. You should have put him above these players, and you would probably be in a much better situation. Your team would be a lot tougher. They'd be a lot more mentally sound. They'd be a lot more prepared for these cold weather games and these brutal, gruesome situations. They'll be battle tested. They'll have it in them. They won't have that timidness and that back down that they show every time we go in 50 or below in December or January. What I don't like the most in our own division, you got Vrabel and I keep forgetting his name and with the Jets and the Jets coach. You got those two who gonna instill those cultures in your division rivals, and when they smack us upside the face, you're gonna understand clearly why. Aaron Glenn, thank you. Yeah. If they smack us in the face, you're gonna understand clearly why. Vrabel already got our number. Someone said Flores couldn't build an offensive coaching room properly. Only thing that faulted him. Well, you know what's funny about that, Gene? McDaniel hasn't been able to build an offensive coaching room properly either. What, you go get Tyreek and then you get all these passes and all of this stuff. The O-line's still been what a lot of y'all call an issue for years. O-line's still been an issue. So you can't say McDaniel fixed that. And don't think just because we had 1 year of success, which everybody already figured it out, and it was largely because of Tyreek threatening them deep when they scared. What has McDaniel figured out on the O-line with a staff or anything? And then the crazy thing is your strongest unit on offense ever, which is receivers, you fired that coach. That tell you all you need to know. That it's Tyreek is carrying more than people think. The strongest unit you have on the offense, which are the receivers, you fired the coach. What has McDaniel done to the offense? And what a lot of y'all need to realize is you get all caught up in the one-hit wonders. It's just like music. You know how you got your one-hit wonders? Oh, look at that song. That song may be fire for this year. And then 3 years later, you're like, whatever happened to that person who sung this? You can't even recall the name. But y'all ready to put him in the Hall of Fame after that 1 year and say, oh, he's brought success. It was a one-hit wonder. Because what a lot of y'all won't even acknowledge is even when we were fully healthy over the last 2 years, this offense has been stagnant. This offense has not been explosive. Almost at least a year and a half now, this offense looked like it's been straight up figured out. Mm. Oh, man. Salute to everybody showing love via donations on the channel. Don't forget the training camp fund is available on the Cash App. I got to do some traveling this year. Potentially Detroit, I have to go for the joint practices. Chicago, I have to go for the joint practices. And then the Jacksonville. I want to make all of them. If I get enough funds to do it, I will do it, obviously, because I work for y'all. I am independent, so those who do drop love in the Cash App and have been blessing me that way, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I greatly appreciate it because you definitely helped me be able to go do these things on my own instead of relying on other people, what they believe is going on, which half the time has agendas. All right, shout out to Ramon. Said, what about John Gruden? Matches physicality of AFC East. I would love John Gruden. I would take a John Gruden. I can answer that now. Give me Gruden. And I don't want to hear nobody whining. No players whining. Give me Gruden. I'll take Gruden. Hands down. Boss said McDaniel, 3 defensive coordinators. Yeah, they get on Flores. Oh, he couldn't keep a defensive coordinator, couldn't keep an O-line coach. This same thing is happening with McDaniel on the other side of the football. But you don't hear that, do you? How many times did you hear with Flores can't keep an offense to this, can't keep it? They don't say nothing about the defense. They don't say nothing about the defense. 3rd coordinator in 3 years. 3 coordinators in 3 years. And the only reason why Weaver got state power is because McDaniel don't give Weaver directions. That's Weaver's defense. You think McDaniel over there, hey, I want you to do that? Nah, I don't care what nobody say. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Weaver running his defense. Hey, I'm on my side of the ball. You stay on yours. We all know what's going on. We all know that's how this goes. He has full autonomy on that defense. Period. You might well say you got 2 head coaches, one with the title. And that ain't a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. I like it. But that's the only reason you probably got to stay in power. So this notion, can't find a good this and that, man, it's not easy, especially for new coaches. So I'm not even mad at them. But as fans, we need to recognize that. As we dogged one coach for it, but don't say not a peep of a word about the next coach who you all love, but the same thing. The same thing. The hypocrisy. It's just a matter of who's your guy or not. That's all this is. All right, let me pull this up. I'm going to drop the link. So for the next 20 to 30 minutes, I could chop it up with you guys. If anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns, put it in the chat or come up on the stream. I'm going to invite you all. So for those who are watching on YouTube right now, you can join the show. I keep telling y'all on Twitter, if you want to get in on the action and actually join the show and give us your 2 cents, you got to come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel so that we can get you in here on these live chats. We're going to do these live shows a lot more often where I'm bringing you all in to talk to me about what your thoughts are or ask me a question. But yeah, man. And by the way, we're not going to come up here to just sit and chill. Hey, quick hitters, man. What's on your mind? What do you think about? What question do you have? What comment do you want to make? That way we can get as many people in as possible and we can keep it moving and streamlined. All right. Not trying to shut nobody out or anything like that, but we want to have a productive show, one that the watchback viewers can appreciate. Let me turn this light down a little bit. I'm going to turn this one off too, so I can let my backlight shine a little bit more. In fact, we going 0 dark 30. Woo! Hey, don't get scared now. Some of y'all be like, drop the link. I just dropped it. You want to come in or you want to stay out? You let me know. But the link has been dropped. Link's been dropped. All right. And do me a favor, y'all. Y'all hit the like button. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. We literally got 675 people watching, about 320 on YouTube, another 350 on Twitter. Thank everybody for viewing tonight and watching the show. Greatly appreciate it. Again, we're going to be streaming almost every single night going forward or in the day. It just depends on if we have any news or not. And listen, man, if nobody comes in on the link, it's all good. It just means, hey, you know, nobody wants to come in. But if you have any question for me, all right, put it in the chat right now. Like Michael just did. He said, TD, who do you think will win a championship first in the future, the Dolphins or the Marlins? That's tough. It's tough because the Marlins, you know, everybody in their little division is tough in itself. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go at the Marlins because you know you could switch that up anytime, just spending money. You know, a team could just swap up their fortune in baseball just spending money. So I'm gonna go with the Marlins on that. Shout out to Curly Toes Wade. Just said I'm really concerned about our O-line, specifically our tackles. One injury and we're done. Also, how's your football card collection coming along? It's not coming along very well. I haven't really invested in it as much. Remember, I just moved in this new house. So, you know, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with the new house and learning a lot, man. When you get a new house, there's a lot of stuff you got to take care of. But I still got my beginner collection from what the homie got me, you know, from the event. Listen, man. I just love y'all, man. When y'all be blessing me with stuff like that, it's just huge. Got the, I don't know if you can see it, got the waddle with the patch, with the signature. Y'all can barely see it, man. Yeah, if I hold it back, you see it better probably. I got to get it out of the light. I don't know how. But anyway, that one, we got A-Chain Select. Got the A-Chain Select, man. Man, y'all don't even get it. We got another A-Chain, another one. We got Zach Thomas, Prism, Fire. Man, I can't believe this happened. Marino on the play action. I got to hold it to the side so y'all can barely see it. Glaring off the light. Mark Duper. We got Keith Jackson. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I'm coming, Donald and Tony H. Give me a second. We got Bernie Parmalee. Man, oh man. Mark Clayton. We got Dwight Stevenson. Yeah, I ain't know that. Waddle celebration one with Christian Wilkins in it. Another Waddle. This one, elite. We got Tua Chronicles. We got Tyreek Elite Series. Pretty dope. We got Dan Marino. Mark Clayton again. Jalen Phillips. Prism. Tyree Hill, Field Vision. Jalen Waddle's Epic with another patch of the jersey right there. This I love these two. I got to get my other Marino, put it next to it. But Dan Marino and one more Dan Marino. Hold on, let me see something. Wait, is this the yeah, this one was fire. Yeah, so the homie hooked me up with an amazing collection, man. Amazing collection to start out with. So once I get settled into the house and stuff like that, I'll get more into, you know, these things. Oh no, my waddle. Hold on now. My Waddle. Where's my case? My Waddle just came out the case. Got to keep these in perfect conditions. There it is. Okay. Sorry, y'all. My Waddle came out the case. Ooh, this is thick. I didn't know the card was this thick. Y'all probably can't see it, but it is thick. It ain't your typical card. All right. So we good. All right. So we got a few people backstage. We're about to get to them, but before we do, KM just blessed us and said, TD, congrats on the new crib, but fins down, bills up. Shout out Kobe. Would you trade Hill for the Bills' fourth? No. I mean, you got to give me, let's see, if you want Hill, you got to give me a third rounder, maybe even a second. You got to give me a second round pick. Otherwise, I'll just deal with the drama for one more year. All right. All right. Let's bring in the homies, Donald and Irene and Tony H and Fins for Life. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's up, TD? How's it going, man?
Great, man. It's a beautiful night, man. Salute to everybody on the panel right now. Donald been rocking with me for a long time, man.
Since day one, baby.
Yes,
Since
sir.
Day one.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Hey, Tony H over there with the Blitz pickup doing amazing work. Them boys be putting that work in. Y'all go check him out. Make sure you sub. You know, he came over here to get that fire, get ethered a little bit. That's what's up.
That's cap. I didn't know you were, I didn't know you lied to your subscribers over here, man. Don't do that.
Hey, no. You lie to yourself, you lie to whoever.
I want to say this first of all. I just want to say you could get rid of all those cards except for the Bernie Palmany.
Stop, man. Fins for Life 561 in here as well. What's up, man?
What's good, fellas? How y'all doing?
We good. Hey, we're gonna start with you, Fins for Life, man. What's on your mind? What you thinking about?
Shoot, I'm thinking about the season coming up. About the quarterback position, just everything. This is a different year coming up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So what's your main thoughts though? Do you believe in what we're doing? Do you have faith, optimism, or is it just a wrap?
Oh, I don't got no faith in the offense, but I believe the defense is going to be a big surprise this year.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all agree with that?
Nah, look, that secondary is terrifying. I'm sorry. I know people have some optimism about this season, but I just want y'all to remember how terrible that secondary was last season, and we had a pretty decent front four. And I'm sorry to tell you, you can have an amazing front four, but if that secondary is trash, they're gonna get the ball out too quick. Did y'all see the Jets game when Ramsey was getting cooked and Weaver was dialing up some nice blitz? He had Jordan Brooks on Aaron Rodgers like this, but guess what? All he had to do is look at whoever Ramsey was on. He was hitting him when he was on Wilson. He was hitting him when he was on Adams. He was killing Ramsey. So listen. No, I'm not optimistic about this defense. Not with that secondary looking like that. No, I'm sorry. No.
So what you got more faith in the offense?
Front seven. I'm sorry, not front four. Front seven.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is what I'm talking about with our fans. The last I checked, it take 11 men on offense and 11 men on defense to win a game. And the bottom line is our coverage and our DBs are only as good as our front seven. What? Yet, don't tell me no, because Flores had less to work with and had that together.
That's cap.
And the facts are, the only thing about it is, anytime we got to start sending blitz packages to even get pressure on a quarterback, that already tells you we already behind the eight.
You do know that was Flores' specialty, right?
Yeah, I do know that was Flores.
So what are you talking about?
Because Flores did more with less. That's what I'm talking about.
Vic Fangio didn't blitz, right? And we had the most sacks in Dolphin history. He didn't blitz.
But also,
I just want to point that out. That's all I want.
Look, you could point that out, but the bottom line is we still had to get blitz pressure.
Not with Vic Fangio.
Quarterback. Period.
Not with Vic Fangio.
Look, Tony H. No offense, my brother. I've been watching this team since 1969. We had one coach who coached 25 years, and I knew about success. And when you only got one side of the ball figured
coach
out,
was that?
and you don't have Don Shula, when you don't have your trenches all
talking about the
set
Dan Marino
up
years?
where they can take care of their business, you are going to fail. And right now, the Dolphins are one-dimensional. Just like right now.
Wait, hold on. But what that got to do with the
Plenty.
defense? Hold on, wait, because you saying a lot. Hold on, you saying a lot, but you're not making sense. What that got to do with Vic Fangio not having to blitz to get sacks and pressure on the quarterback? That has nothing to do with. I'm just telling. He did it with running front four. He blitzed the less.
I understand what you're saying about Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio was there how many years?
Last year, the year before last.
One. That's it. The only thing I'm sitting here saying is that if we want our team to be successful, our front four has to learn how to create pressure on the quarterback without blitzing as heavy.
And I told you,
as
Vic
they have
Fangio
been.
did that.
But at the same time, what
And it
happened
ain't
with
help out.
Fangio's defense? We had the players that could do that, but when injuries came down, that was over.
No, it wasn't. They still did their thing. What are you talking about?
And we have a quarterback who cannot operate in big-time pressure
Man,
situations.
you're right about that. I mean,
Can't operate, period.
So,
I mean, if you wanted to make it about Tua, just say that, but don't try to downplay the defense just to say Tua is not competent enough to get the job done. I agree with you on that.
Tony, I agree. I understand where you're coming from, but the only thing I will say is this. When I seen a man that was signed from a now see, and nobody brings this up, TD, and this is something you need to bring to Omar and the rest of these guys all the time too. Flores is a 4-time Super Bowl head coach. I mean, a coach. Four times. He's a 4-time Super Bowl winner. We act like the man didn't know what in the world he had to do in order to get there. Yet and still, they signed him for a 5-year contract, kept him from only 3, and now all of a sudden we got McDaniel because you're making the offense go it, and he is not even doing what Flores did. No, I am not accepting nothing. I'm not buying a ticket. I'm not buying any merchandise. I am done with them until they clean house because this is ridiculous. Like I said, I've been watching this team since 1969. I watched one coach take this team to 5 Super Bowls, and I am not going to sit up here and put up with this mediocrity and think that that's what we have to deal with. And we're saying, just as TD was saying, we're successful because we make a playoff. Bull. I'm tired of watching the doggone Buffalo Bills run roughshod in the AFC East. We've been beating the Jets. We've been beating the Patsies. That's fine, but I am not satisfied. We need to beat the Bills. I don't mean a split. We need to sweep the Bills.
Are you a Dan Marino fan, Donald?
I love Marino, but I also am a Bob Greasy fan too, watching them win.
But I'm saying, how do you judge the team during the Dan Marino regime, his era?
I love the team, but I always said with Dan Marino, if Dan Marino had a Ricky Williams behind him as a running back, Dan Marino would have multiple Super Bowls.
You know what, Donald? I would have respected that more. You kept that same energy for Dan Marino because he couldn't beat Buffalo either, man. Come on, now.
Hey, why are we bringing up running back? ATD.
You crazy?
TD, hey, you can do me a favor real quick. Look up the
playoff when it count. That's what I'm talking about. Really, when it count.
Okay, all right. Well,
look up the last 10 Doak Campbell running back award winners in college, and just look at them real quick while we chopping it up. I got
a better question.
You know what I'm talking about?
When we talk about running backs, right?
What am I looking for?
Well, you're gonna look at what we stole in the 6th round. Well, Jonathan Taylor was a winner. Derrick Henry. I'm talking about just the last 10 years. If you go back 15, it'll really blow your mind. Jonathan Taylor won it twice. But I'm not trying to change. You know, jumping. I just want you to look it up when you get a chance.
I just want to point this part out. Go ahead, TD. What you say?
No, I said what award again?
The Doak. It's the Doak Campbell with the running back award.
The running back. Yeah, the top running back in college. I just want to point
out. The last 10.
I don't think any of those guys got a Super Bowl. So, outside of last year with Saquon Barkley, the running backs on the team that's winning Super Bowl aren't upper echelon type of running backs. They not. So I think it's more of your offensive scheme and the way you run your offense, but you don't need a top tier running back to win the Super Bowl. That's not the team that's winning the Super Bowl. Now you need a running game, but to go out there and get a name like those guys that you named, Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, they don't have Super Bowls, my brother.
No, but a running game with Tyree Hill and Jalen Waddle, that's different.
Yes.
Well, we had you do know we had a running game in 2023. It's just our quarterback was incompetent enough to be consistent enough in the big time games. So I don't think a running back would save us.
But see, Tony H,
man.
But see, Tony H, that's what the reason why we
I'm just being honest, TD.
It's a team game.
No, but I'm saying we got a running back in the 6th round that was probably a 1st or a 2nd round running back, and people are gonna see this and they can put a time stamp on this.
You talk about Ali Gordon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we get him
Believe that.
Then we get him in 7.
Hey, give me some names. Give me some names who won that award.
Ashton Genty, Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker III, Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Bryce Love, Deontay Foreman, Derrick Henry, Melvin Gordon, Andre Williams, Monty Ball, Trent Richardson,
Spit that fire.
Yes.
Reggie Bush, Darren McFadden.
But Tony H, this is exactly what I'm saying.
LT.
I understand what you're talking about as far as having either the running game or a passing game, but you got to have both, because when one is not working, if you looked in that Super Bowl that they played, they shut Saquon down.
And what they had a clutch quarterback though.
Yes, exactly. Hurts elevated his game, and he showed them that he not only can run, he can pass. We don't have any of that on our
showed
team.
them 2 Super Bowls.
We can't even get 1 yard, bro. We can't even get 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. We got
true.
2 tries to get 1 yard and can't get 1
Can you
yard.
imagine them telling
This
two
is
to
true.
do the tush push?
No, they can't do that. Y'all know.
No.
Well, TD got the picture. The only way we can have Tua do the touch push with the juggernaut helmet. But other than that, y'all can forget about a touch push over here. It's
some
not going to
respect.
happen.
Yes.
Some
forget
respect
about
on Tua name.
No,
Yes.
here we go. Here we go.
But you
Just
but
saying,
look,
man.
Oh, Lord. Hey, hold on. Hey, listen, I want to come up here because you know what, TD, I'm not going to let you get that off. I want to, because TD think he's slick. I heard the comment you talk about. I have aspirations of this season going well.
Yeah, you do.
My brother.
You do.
First of all, you did the show with us, and we predicted 7-10. So if that's aspirations, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but why would you want to keep these players where you know it's
I
a
didn't say
waste
these
of?
players. I said one player. You could trade Tyreek. You could trade Jonnu Smith. You could trade Ramsey. The reason why I'm not trading a Sieler because he does everything the right way, right? He just put his head down. He just worked, right? And he could mentor the young D tackles. What, we got 3 of them this season? So I'm like, you got to have some type of leadership in that locker room. You can't get rid of all of it. And I think Zach Sieler is one of the guys that were like, you know what, keep him around for the leadership. He's proven himself to listen. He's on a more than a team-friendly deal, and his production is out of this world. Right? If I'm not mistaken, he leads all D tackles with sacks the last 2 seasons, right, Caban? And I think that's worth keeping around to usher in the new regime. If you tear it all down, that's what I want, right? Tear it all down and start over. But you do need a character type guy and a guy that can teach these guys how to do it the right way to help you aid to that in the maturation of these young guys, bro.
So are you saying
you can't trade Tyreek right now? The best thing to do is let him take off the first 3, 4, 5 weeks before the trade deadline. And let him. Then we'll get a 1st round for him. You know what I mean? We'll get a 1st round pick when he takes off, because people then slowly forget about all that BS. You know.
But so are you saying that Zach Sieler got more leadership than Mike McDaniel?
I don't listen, Mike McDaniel want to be your best friend. And I don't think that's the best approach to take as a head coach. So I would never agree with that. And just so you correct you right quick, I am a big Brian Flores guy. I was pissed off. I can tell you exactly what I was doing when he got fired. That's how shocked I was that they got rid of him. So I'm a big Brian Flores guy. You know, my whole thing is which I tend to agree with you when you got to that point about the quarterback, because I'm like, you can have a running game, you can have the best receivers in the world. If your quarterback cannot get it done in the clutch moments, I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about him leading the league in passing yards. He could lead the league. Well, I wouldn't mind you leading the league in touchdowns because that means you putting points on the board. But if you throw for 1.5 touchdowns a game on the average, right? Mm-hmm. But those touchdowns comes in a moment that you need them in the fourth quarter to take over the. Okay, cool. I'll take a clutch quarterback over a stat pattern. You can have the Justin Herberts all you want. You can have it. You understand? Mm-hmm. Listen, when Peyton Manning started winning his Super Bowls, he let his team do the talking, and he just came up in the clutch. Yes. He learned to take a step back. I don't need to be driving this ball downfield every 5 seconds. Let my defense win me some games. Joseph Adao was the Super Bowl MVP of his first Super Bowl when he was in Indianapolis, right? And I don't even think he threw a touchdown when he won in Denver. Right. So I give me a quarterback that is there in the clutch, and that's not causing us games, but it's helping us win in the clutch. I'll take that over a stat pattern any day. So I don't care about having a top-notch running game, because at the end of the day, your quarterback is going to have to make a play. You made a great point about how they shut down Saquon Barkley and sent Jalen Hurts. You're going to have to be clutch this game if you're going to win that big one. Every team, your quarterback has to be clutch. And that's what Tua lacks.
And he should have had 2 Super Bowls because
he lost. I have a question for you, TD. I have a question for you, bro. And first of all, man, thanks for having me come up on this panel, man.
Well, thanks for coming up.
A question is, well, I hear Zach Wilson's kind of struggling in camp, man.
Oh, come on,
and if he is, man, how's that make you feel, man? Like, me myself, man, I was kind of looking for Zach Wilson to be pretty all right, do pretty good. But I hear that he's struggling in camp, man. So how does that make you feel, man? Signing Zach Wilson to be the backup. How does that make you feel that the backup's already struggling?
It doesn't bother me at all because I didn't have many expectations. The only thing that intrigued me about Zach Wilson was his mobility. So at the end of the day, there is no telling of a struggle of that. Zach Wilson is who he is as a passer. And remember whose system this is at the same token. So that's solely on McDaniel. Again, it's same stuff, different air freshener. Same boo-boo, different air freshener. Okay. At the end of the day, they'll never take the backup position serious. They'll never take it serious until Tua's gone.
I thought you was a Quinn Ewers guy, man. What's going on?
Yeah, but at the same token, it ain't like, listen, Quinn Ewers can go to camp and look better than Tua. He ain't gonna start. So what does it matter?
I do agree with that.
What does it matter? And I'm not saying that's gonna be the case, but I'm just saying in general, I don't care about the backup situation, because let me say this too.
What?
With or without the backup situation this year, we're not a Super Bowl team. So the only thing we're hoping for is Tua can stay healthy. So that's all that matters anyway. If Tua doesn't stay healthy and we need our backup, all of it gets blown up anyway.
But Zach Wilson don't stay healthy either. Neither do Quinn Ewers. So we got
that's why it doesn't matter. That's why it's not even of concern.
Hey,
you have to grade the Dolphins on the curve. I appreciate you letting me up here. TD.
TD, you left crypto up here. There go the neighborhood.
Hey.
What's going on, TD?
Hey, we always been graded on the curve. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no crypto. That's the problem with this fan base. They want to grade on the curve. You know who not grading us on the curve? The opposing teams. You think they grading us on the curve? You think when they go
I'm just saying, you don't have to, but yeah.
We're gonna take it easy. No.
You're right, but I'm just saying that's the nature of the Dolphins. That's our franchise. The big C, man. The big curve.
I have a question for TD, if you guys don't mind. Matter of fact, for the whole panel, really.
Mm-hmm.
But TD, this is a question for you. You say that start over, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how would you start over? Will you start over like from the top to the bottom, or how? Talk to me about starting over.
Of course, if I'm Stephen Ross, I'm coming in and I'm saying trade all my assets. Let me
from the top
You talk
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
front office as well.
Well,
Front
yeah.
office as well.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If I'm Stephen Ross right now, the first move I make is trade all my assets. Let me go ahead and recoup those with the current situation because we don't need turmoil. All right. Halfway through the season, because we already know what the team is going to be like. Halfway through the season, go ahead and fire Mike McDaniel. Get your interim coach in Weaver. Go ahead and promote him as the interim head coach. All right. And then at the end of the season, promote Chris Greer wherever you want to put him, because that's probably what's going to happen, or fire him, but it's probably going to be a promotion in the front office. All right. Then I'm on my general manager and head coach search. And Weaver is a serious candidate, but I'm going to search, see if there's any veteran other candidates as well. So that's where I'm starting with it. I done got rid of all my assets. And I've accumulated assets. I've gotten rid of the coach. I've moved the general manager, and everything is set to be reset. It's simple. Go ahead and cut Chubb in the offseason. No more guaranteed money. Brooks is gone. Everything, all those contracts is all gone. So the new general manager that I hire, they're going to help me find my new coach, whether they like Weaver or another guy. They're going to bring in the next head coach, and I'm going to sit them down and basically say, hey, clean slate.
That's what I want to know, because
you get to pick your quarterback. You can determine
you have to cut
whether
the cancer out, right? And what's the biggest cancer? I mean, as far as front office is concerned, it's Greer. He's been there for how long? 20 years, 25 years?
Yeah. But I always tell y'all. Yeah, I always tell y'all. But y'all,
he has some good picks. He has some good picks. I'm not going to take that away from the man.
Stop
I ain't mad with that.
Underestimating his
But
ability
you have
to survive.
cut the cancer out, man.
Yeah, I get it.
Hey, TD, let me ask you, what do you think about Stephen Ross' type of style of owner, like the way he runs this team?
To be quite honest with you, the only downfall of Stephen Ross is the fact that he's not a football guy. He don't know ball. So he has
just no money.
He's at the mercy of what everybody else tells him. He's at the mercy.
Do you think he's listening to the right guys?
He doesn't know whether he is or not. That's the problem. When you're not a football guy, you can only go with the guys who been around, who know the team. That's what's happening in Miami.
Hey, TD, do you have any
who else is not
GM names out there that you might like for the team?
No GMs, bro. I don't follow GMs like that, to be quite honest with you.
So you don't know, nobody knows any good GMs out there that are young, up and coming.
Throw names out, but I just be throwing names that I know. It wouldn't be no basis behind why I'm throwing their name.
All right.
Hey, TD, in your opinion, who else is not a football guy, man? Front office.
Well, a large part of that front office are football guys. But the problem is that don't mean they're gonna always get it right.
Garfinkel.
Yeah, Garfinkel. You think he's a football guy?
No, he's not.
Baseball guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a football guy at all. But the thing with Ross is this: he's the type of owner that you do want people, because he's not shy in opening his checkbook.
Right.
So he just needs the right people in place that's gonna make the right football decisions.
Yeah,
and not move off of emotion, but move off of just have a grounded basis, and that's what we don't have in Miami.
So do you really? Well, I know you don't think you really don't. You're not a Chris Greer type dude, but I don't think Chris Greer is as bad as everyone makes him out to be. What I do think is that I think everyone in our front office to our coaching staff, they're all non-confrontational. And you cannot make it in this league being non-confrontational, because the minute that I heard Chris Greer said he deferred a lot more than what he preferred, then what are we doing here, bro? So you mean to tell me all you had to do was put your foot down and say, well, this is my decision. I'm making a decision. You mean to tell me we would have not have gave Tua that contract? He would have played on the 5th-year option? You mean to tell me that we would have got some compensation back from Calais Campbell, because that was your first initial thought, but you yielded to Mike McDaniel, and you yielded, well, on both occasions you yielded to Mike McDaniel? You cannot.
That's why, Tony, we have to replace him.
You cannot. Well, I won't be mad at it. I won't be mad at it.
Chris Greer picks and chooses, okay, because who picked Tua? I'm sure Brian Flores didn't want Tua, so Chris Greer put his foot down
No,
and
they're
made that
saying,
decision.
hey, they all say the football guys that are on TV, not TD, but everybody else say that Flores wanted in Tua. I don't believe that for a second.
Well, it's not
He
that
eventually
he wanted
relented.
them.
He probably
He did,
didn't want him, but he relented.
yeah, like I guess he didn't say that he don't want them, but I mean
He
it's out
also
there that he said
relented
he,
to
he preferred he wanted Jordan Love,
quarterback
Yeah, he
Brady.
wanted
and he
Jordan
wanted
Love.
to go with the offensive guy. What they offered the guy
And
Yeah, but you see how the difference he's treating the head coaches. I don't know. We're not gonna win with the head coach we got now.
well, let me say this. Something that TD, I think you've pointed out for the past 4 years, and it's something I've been watching. And this is why I really preferred Flores. Flores knew how to get the most out of his players. When those players came
except
in
for
the camp,
Tua.
well, that's because he didn't want to.
Right. Yeah.
He got the most out of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So the thing is, he got the most out of
and
his
Devontae Parker.
players. Yes. And Weaver can do that too. Watch what
No.
Weaver does with this defense. He knows how to groom players and get them better. McDaniel does not know how to do that. And that's something, even with the scouting department, as far as evaluating talent, I am very concerned about this franchise. That's the thing that I miss with a Don Shula led team. Don Shula could find gems out of anywhere. Bring them in, you never heard of them before. All of a sudden, they become brand name players because he knew how to get the most out of those players. Right now, we don't have a coaching staff that can do that to elevate the play of our players, even though the name says, guess what? We got all the talent in the world. This is something that we have to get back to. And that's the reason why TD, as much as folks didn't want to hear it, that's the reason why I wanted us to go to a run game early 2 years ago, because that helps build camaraderie on the O line. In order for your O line to begin to perform as they did in 2023, our run game was stout. It was
That's
beginning
Denver.
to show up, and it was beginning to show until injuries began to take over. But at the same time, that offensive line was showing cohesion. And this is what we don't have. That's the reason why they're putting Ramsey out and everybody else out, because we don't have any leadership from the head coach. And this is something, and I think he can grow into it, but he's never been an offensive coordinator. So I can't expect him to understand what it will take in order to be a leader of men going into a Sunday. Because what really got me is when you pointed out with Brian Flores during his tenure. If you looked at Brian Flores when they played from the first half, first and second quarter, third and fourth quarter was all Brian Flores. He knew how to make adjustments with the players as well as the team. McDaniel don't know how to make any adjustments whatsoever, and we are in trouble. But that's just me. I'm gonna be quiet and let the rest of y'all talk. Y'all be blessed.
Hey, I like to ask the whole panel this way, like, uh, with the addition of Daniel, that left guard, and drafting Savi Nah, I don't know if I got his name right.
Devon Nair.
Yeah. Do you think it's still enough for the offensive line to be adequate, man?
We don't know because you have Savai Knight is his first year. You don't
Yeah.
know what Jaden what Daniels the guy we got from Pittsburgh, you don't know how he's going to respond to coming off that injury, is Achilles, and then you
Right.
got Patrick Paul, the second year offensive line. So this optimism about this offensive line, I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah. So
the new guys are young, huh?
So we don't know if it's upgraded yet. Then so we don't
No,
know if it's upgraded.
you can't educate. You can't say that. Honestly, I'm sorry. You can't honestly say that there's an upgrade when you don't know how it's going to look. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that so we can't say it's an upgrade yet.
No, you can't, because you basically got three new guys on that offensive line, and then you got Austin Jackson coming off an injury. And then another one of the new guys,
Who's still suspect? If you ask me, Austin Jackson is still suspect. You know,
no, Austin Jackson's not suspect. No, we're not gonna do that. He can't stay healthy,
uh,
but when he's in there, he's good. He's good at what he does. Now, he just get injured a lot. Like everyone gives him a pass, but y'all do know he's as injured as Tua is. Like he's always injured, and that's been the biggest downfall with this offensive line is the injury history. This offensive line has been injured every season, so the depth of this offensive line is the problem.
So you think Austin Jackson is a very good right tackle?
Yeah,
an excellent right tackle.
I wouldn't say excellent. He got to be consistent to become excellent. But when he's in there, he's very good. You know,
Exactly.
he's not perfect.
Good.
Like when that offensive line was running together, right? When it was at its best, right? When you had Armstead out there, you had Isaiah Wynn, you had Connor Williams, you had Robert Hunt, and you had Austin Jackson. That offensive line was the start offensive line in 2023 when we had our best running game. Most had his best season, and that's the only time Tua stayed healthy. That was a more than serviceable offensive. That was a really good offensive line. It's just the injuries keep been our downfall, that's when your depth come into play. That's when you have to have better depth guys behind your starters, because if you know that your starters are not reliable, like you brought us Teron Armstead in, and he hasn't played one season his whole entire career, so you should have known that you need a top level depth guy behind him. You understand? And these are the things I would say that's where they failed us on the offensive line with the depth. Not bringing in guys. You know, this narrative that they never went out and adjust the offensive line. They adjust the offensive line every season. It's just that they couldn't stay healthy. And the depth of the offensive line is the biggest problem. Anytime you got Liam Eichenberg in the starting role, and you had Lester Carton in the starting role and Robert Jones in the starting role, you has failed as a GM with getting the depth. I'm sorry. Don't be TD. You don't like none of them guys.
It's a shame, actually.
I thought that was your favorite guy, TD. That's the cut.
No,
I'm surprised they're in the NFL. I got a question for y'all. So, what do we do if we have a good season, win a playoff game?
Man, nobody can. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you on the Tua train, if you like Tua, so what you gonna do if we win, make a wild card and win a playoff game? What are we just gonna be stuck for another 2-3 years with Tua?
Yep.
It's still not good enough.
I think you still look for another quarterback.
Yeah, but we're talking reality. They're not.
Yeah, exactly. Reality.
Well, listen,
more just like
TD,
we're the type of team that'll do something like that. They'll give us just enough to say, "See, I told y'all, let's keep this moving."
That means
That's what I'm talking
they're gonna
about.
have to extend them. They will have to extend them after the 2027 season because they're not taking them cap hits. Because after the 2027, those cap hits are ridiculous. So if you're gonna get fooled twice for one good season, then I don't know what to tell you. Then at this point, there's no hope. Realistically speaking, there wouldn't be any hope in this franchise if they get fooled twice by the same guy. Not gonna happen. Because all we got to know is he just have to be extra careful. Don't put himself in harm's way. He'll have a good enough season just to look decent. And if they fall for that again, then I mean, there's no explanation for that. And there's no excuse.
For me, it's Super Bowl or first number one overall pick.
I like that.
I like that. I know those two options right there. But
that's how I feel about it. Because anything in between just gonna set us back.
I mean, and I'm tired. Y'all not tired of being a purgatory?
That's what I'm about to say. Definition of purgatory, right there.
Like, no, I don't want to go in there win a playoff game. You know what that playoff game mean? We picking in the 20s instead of the teams or in top 10.
In the 20s.
No, that's the only thing a playoff game do for us.
You ain't winning no playoff game anyway.
Trust me, I don't want it. I want nothing more to get rid of Tua. I've been like that for 2-3 years. Best believe that. But I'm just saying, it just seems like they ain't ever gonna get off of him.
No, they got to get off. They got to get off of him, man, and they will. It's just taking too long for me.
Yeah, what was this?
It's
Year
the
6,
7 to
5,
9 year
6?
plan.
I want to say something real quick because I keep hearing this narrative and I got to push back on it. Because Tony, you even said not with Flores, where Tua. To me, Tua actually did play well. And when I say well enough with Flores. I'm telling you now, the Tua version was with Flores was the same as the Mike McDaniel version. It's just that you add a Tyreek Hill.
That's what I think.
Because he was
That's
still
exactly what I
he was still efficient with the completion percentage. Brian Flores created a offense of dink and dunk, which was still productive and competitive. But in the big games, just like with McDaniel, he still always folded. I really think it was the same tool. It's just that you added a Tyreek Hill, which is everything. Guys who can catch the ball and go work wonders with it. And you added some speed in the run game, which has nothing to do with Tua. So I don't feel that way. I think that I really think Tua has
You don't feel what way? Hold on, my bad. What you were saying?
Well,
and with a bad offensive line too, TD.
Yeah. Like Tua's the same version of the Flores version to me. It's just that you added Tyreek. He was still having a high completion percentage under Flores. He was still dinking and dunking, but you added more weapons to get the ball and make plays after, and you added a run game afterwards. But I'm unlike everybody else. I don't see like this big difference that everybody else did. Now, yeah, some plays over the middle in that first year, but since then, I ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, I don't really care about the stats.
So you
anyway.
saying TD he got enhanced by his weaponry?
I mean, yeah, everybody knows this, man. It's
Just
But
like
every
Alabama.
quarterback get a hand by their weaponry. The problem is you need him to come through in the clutch. And I'm sorry, if you don't have the clutch gene, Tyreek Hill cannot make you clutch. He can't. I'm sorry. So this narrative that I don't get what people see, and I understand. At this point, you have to show me. I'm not going to be out here blindly hope with blind hope. The guy already been in the league. It's 5 seasons already. Y'all know that, right? 5 seasons. You can say that coach players have like the Drew Brees and the Peyton Manning. It took them some time to win, but they've been clutched in the regular season. Their downfall was for Peyton Manning was in the playoffs. But he had showed you that he could win the big game. It just had to translate to the playoffs. So, but you have to show that clutch gene somehow, some way. And he hasn't not one time showed it. I'm not gonna say one time because they're gonna throw out the
Ravens game,
the Ravens game, and the Buffalo game. They're gonna throw them out, and I get it. But we talking about a full body over 5 seasons of this, and you don't have
the Jets overtime game. The Jets overtime game was a good game for Tua. That Jets overtime game, that was a good game for him.
You think Tua is less mobile than he is back then?
I mean, he's coming off a hip injury and he gained weight. So
he's less mobile than he was in Alabama for sure.
But you don't need. Listen, Tua, his mobility is not his issue. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep telling y'all. It's him being clutch when you need him. There was plays to be made, and he's just not making the plays.
But here's how we look at the mobility. If he had it, he wouldn't have to be as clutch. He wouldn't be in those situations. We'd already pull away. Yeah, we'd be more competitive in these games to begin with. We wouldn't need him to be as clutch. So I mean that limitation, and again, he doesn't have to have that limitation, but what else does he have? Like we say, he can't throw outside the numbers consistently. Can he make a throw outside the numbers? Of course, but on a consistent basis, it ain't high level where you can torch people.
How many limitations would you say he has, TD?
For me, the mobility, the deep throw in stride.
Yeah.
Okay, throwing outside of the numbers.
Yeah.
And then there's an intellectual piece that nobody talks about because we don't want to judge it because we never see it. This man ain't calling his protections. This man ain't audibling at the line of scrimmage. The only audibling that Tua is really doing at the line of scrimmage is, loaded box. Let's tap our helmet. We're going to switch to a run. Oh, it's not a loaded box. We're gonna get out of the run and we're gonna hit our hot. That's base. That's elementary.
So that's quite a few number of limitations there, man.
That's four limitations.
Think about this. Think about this. You going into
and health 5.
He's not good enough.
The main one.
Y'all got to look at this and think about this. He's going into his 4th year in his offense, and Mike McDaniel is saying he needs to still work on getting to the line on time and checking in and out of plays.
Command that offense.
That is crazy right now.
Yeah.
Like if you don't see the problem in that, then I just don't get it.
But the real issue is here's the real
don't they kind of fall on the quarterback too, Tone? I mean, like, come on, all right, guys, come on, get together. Line up, get together, let's go.
Fred, that's exactly what I just said. If you have to tell Tua to be more clutch, then what are we doing? I mean, to take more command of the offense, then what are we doing? You that's on a quarterback. That's on film study. That's on learning to play, getting in the playbook.
There's 6 limitations there, man. There's 6 limitations.
So I just don't get it. You have to be willing to go overboard. So,
but as a quarterback like Tua, Goff, Purdy, Brady, Breeze, you have to be a processor. And it seems like the biggest superpower he should have, he doesn't.
See, people just keep lying about it. He's this elite processor. I am begging everybody. I am begging everybody to go watch Tua film. Do you know how many times this man will be looking right and he switches to the left side of the field and just flings it? I'm telling you, he don't even know if the guy open. They think that he's processing so fast that it's unreal. It is unreal because he ain't processing. He was always going to throw to the left. He's just trying to look the safety off and come back to that spot. Like you see it so many times. Like the man will hike the ball, look right. And while he's turning to left, he's already getting ready to cock and just firing. He's not. This is why all you have to do is go study his interceptions. Normal quarterbacks, when they get intercepted, he sailed it too high. It was too far behind. It got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Tua goes straight to a spot, to the defender. Why did you even throw it? Is the question. Because it's already predetermined. And here's what people don't understand. If I'm the receiver and Tony is the corner, right? And I know I'm about to hit this slant. Let's just meet at this point. The ball at this point, I get there. If Tony comes up and he's a half a second late, it's going to look like a phenomenal pass because I threaded the needle. Look how he threaded it. No, it was going to go there even if Tony wasn't late and it was a pick 6. It was going to go there. It's just like Kurt Warner also explained. Because Kurt Warner, everybody like Kurt Warner even said it. You think he's wrong? Y'all ain't even listening to the entire Kurt Warner breakdown. Kurt Warner even explained the spot thrower. He said that it could also get you in trouble, but it works more than it doesn't, so you can live with the times that it doesn't. You can live with it. And that's what we're doing in Miami. We're having more success doing that spot throwing crap than failure. So you live with the moments when it's a bad decision. You live with it. If every 50 passes you throw, you get 1 pick, okay, you live with it doing that. And that's what's happening in Miami. People aren't, all you got to do is go watch it and see it. It makes no sense. And then they say, well, you can't see his eyes. You don't know if he wasn't already looking over there. Man, y'all stop this mess, man. It's clear as day. The national championship game in Alabama, it was another no-look pass. He looked one way, come back and just fling it the other way. Lucky for him, his receiver had 8-yard separation. Like this, and here's another thing. On this channel, I have played 6 different players over the last 6 years who all said Tua's going to throw the ball anyway. Even if it ain't there, he going to throw it. So don't be faked by his look-offs and stuff. No matter LSU, when they beat up on them in the national championship, they interviewed the DB after the game. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we know Tua's going to throw the ball anyway, even if it's not there. So you can't be fooled. People, corners and safeties out here telling you
Yeah,
this.
Atlanta Falcon cornerback that picked him
Yes.
up.
And what happens every time? What happens every time a DB say it? Oh, they just hating. Oh, they just, man, y'all don't get it. As clear as day is right in front of you.
I think the Texans said that too, Tony.
Hey, TD,
Yeah,
Sheffield
Can I ask you something?
So
Sheffield
TD,
said
what does
that
McDaniel
too.
do about that, though?
Sheffield said
Hey,
that too,
TD, I got a
TD.
question.
McDaniel do about that, though?
There's nothing you can do. That's your
Mike McDaniel,
system.
how can Mike McDaniel
There's
can't go out
nothing
there
you
and throw
can
the
do.
pass for him?
He's built it around him to do it.
He's handy. Yeah.
Because it's
Mike
the
McDaniel can
only
do that.
thing he can do, because Tua is not a fast processor like everybody making it out to be. They thinking
TD, I have a question.
just because he has the timing and puts the ball in the spot, that's processing. It's not. Processing will allow you to, well, first of all, forget the processing. He doesn't even have arm strength that will allow him to process. Because here's the difference. Quarterbacks with arm strength isn't about distance. It's about speed. How fast can you get the ball from point A to B? How fast can you get it there? It's not about distance. Oh, well, he doesn't throw far. Arm strength. Arm strength ain't got nothing to do with distance. Everybody can get it up by 55 yards plus or whatever. It's just a matter of how long it takes the ball to get there. So when you're a slow processor, if you're actually processing, you're like, oh, he's open. Your brain has to tell you, oh, he's open. That's a second. You just lost. But
TD,
the guys with strong arms, their brain could say, oh, he's open. And they can get it there that 1 second faster to even it out. But Tua can't. And that's the difference.
Hey, TD, Trent Sherfield said that too, man.
Yeah, a lot of them say it, but he hating. Oh, he got torched. That's why he's saying it. Y'all stop, man. These are professional DBs telling y'all exactly what's going on the field. They know what to do.
Wide receivers too.
Yes, it's crazy, man. Yeah, Trent Sherfield, you're right. He said you got to get to that spot.
The ball's coming no matter what.
It's coming no matter what. You got to get to the
saying
spot.
That's why Mike McDaniel said wide receiver running the wrong routes while he was throwing all them interceptions.
No, he's saying the wide receiver need to help the quarterback out and get to their spots. You're right though, Tony.
Yeah.
McDaniel chastised a wide receiver because they need to get to their spot. And
but
let
if
me
you
tell
go back to watch the film, the dude fell right in front of Tyree Hill.
Thank
So
you. This
got to
is
see
why-
that Tua.
This is why I always say, if you bump and run the receivers and disrupt their timing, Tua actually put it in the right spot. But if you're actually processing the field, you will see the guy get bumped and you will retrajectory the ball. You will put it in a different spot because you know,
window. You know what they say,
he's going to get there a half a second late. Let me throw it behind a little. That's processing. But they don't get that. Every time Tua had one of them errant throws, I say, go back to watch the film and look at the beginning of the play. Did the receiver go wider to get around the corner? Did he get bumped? Every time. And every time it shows you, look, he got pushed, that disrupted the timing. Like there's passes where the receiver's almost there and they're like, oh man, I missed it. And we be like, oh, Tua inaccurate on that one. Nah, go back and watch it. They got bumped at the line of scrimmage and they couldn't get to the spot in time. I mean, it's right in front of all of us if you go watch the film. But we don't even want to recognize it or acknowledge it because, it's making him less than. Listen, he's a limited quarterback. This is what you have to do for him to have success, but everything got to go right. It's a bad formula to have, man. Bad formula. And don't get me wrong, it is not easy to play quarterback in this league. Not many quarterbacks can do all the things necessary to be successful. And we find that out every year. But until you got one, it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't just say, well, it's hard to get one and just stop right there. And that's the problem with us as fans. We settle with, well, this is better than we are used to. Bad
TD. 2 years ago, we was pushing to get Lamar for 2 first-round picks. We finally could have had a quarterback.
And we wouldn't have got him for 2 first-round picks because they would have matched it. But at least, man, how could you not even try?
At least try, yeah. At least show that you was trying, yeah.
It's crazy.
That 2022 draft too. If they kept their capital, You trade that ahead of time, you probably get a Caleb Williams or a Jaden.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. We missed out on a lot of capital. With Bradley, Chubb, all of these guys, Tyree, we missed out on a lot of first-round draft picks because of this. And now all of them about to be gone. Come on, man. It's just bad business. Shout out to Crazy Dolphin.
Who's the blame for that, though?
Huh?
Who's the blame for that?
Greer.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's Greer, but
if it's Greer, so there goes more reason to get rid of him.
Here's the thing, though. You can get
that ain't on Greer, man. Stop.
You can
Nah,
get
it ain't on Greer, bro.
No, let me tell you where Greer, he's in charge. Let me tell you where Greer's fault is. Greer's fault is not getting rid of those first round picks and getting Chubb, Ramsey, and all of them. Which it was a panic. It was a panic move.
Dropped the ball big time.
But that's not the
first
bad
round
part.
draft picks.
That's
hold
not
on. If you take hold on. Go ahead, finish TD, because I hate when people say this.
The bad part about Greer isn't doing all of that. Here's the bad part about Greer. Not cutting bait and recognizing that it's not it. As soon as you went ahead and signed these extensions last year for all of these people, that's when you hit a territory of negligence.
Yeah.
Operating out of your feelings. That's negligent, bro. I told y'all this is pure negligence, and it was all just to prove one guy. Because at the end of the day, they got to prove that Tua is a franchise quarterback.
There you go.
And at some point, and maybe we can't blame him because he wouldn't have been allowed to cut bait, or it was an admission and fireable. So we've been in a bad situation ever since we drafted this kid. They just didn't know it.
I just don't think. Listen, I would say I know people don't like Christopher Greer, right? If I'll give him
I like Chris Greer. He's a good talent evaluater.
One thing I would this is the thing that I would criticize him for. Not understanding he should have moved off Tua early. He should have moved off Tua because I just want to, even with all those people, right? The Bradley Chubbs, and he brought in on the Tyree Hill and everything, right? Let's not forget in 2023, we had 2 games left and we had an opportunity to have the number 1 overall seed with that roster he put together. So people like to overlook that because of the outcome. But if we had better quarterback play, we wouldn't be here saying that he dropped the ball with these people that he brought in.
That's buying talent, though. He didn't scout and draft those guys.
No, you're right.
But hold on. Your only job at the GM is not to only win in the draft. If you could bring in some great additions in the free agency, that's part of being a good GM as well. We can't just ignore that fact because we want to hop on if he missed in the draft sometimes. But the draft pick that he used, right, to bring in some of those guys, right, they had us in position to be the number 1 overall seed. Now that one draft pick that he used on a quarterback that I think he should have never picked up, right? Tua, he's the one that's folding in these big games. So to overlook that and try to make it seem like every addition that he made to this team is bad, I think that's unfair and you're being disingenuous. Because that team was in position to be the top seed that year.
But
if you had
that's full goal.
You got a good point. But what I'm saying is when he had those 3 first-round draft picks that year, okay, Jackson, Phillips, and what was the other guy in the corner?
Tua.
No, corner. Remember?
No, Benatti.
All right. Remember those 3 guys? Okay.
Well,
those 3 guys.
You said Phillips. He wasn't. That was Tua, Jackson.
Okay. My bad. All right. How many GMs will survive that move and still be in the league, man? Be a GM. Those are 3 number 1 draft picks, man, that you only got. Really, rate them. What we got?
The following year, too, you could have had Chase and could have had Darrisaw. The scouting.
Has he made some good picks? I agree 100%. But if you really look at Greer's draft picks that he has success in, hasn't been the first 2 rounds or 3 rounds. It really hasn't. Let's call a spade a spade.
Well, he had
you would give all 3 of them first round picks for Joe Burrow, right?
He tried to, but they didn't.
No,
accept
he
it.
never getting Burrow. They wasn't coming up off that.
Yeah, they didn't. He did offer the 3 first-round picks, and they didn't accept it.
Because he didn't do a Mike Ditka. If he would have done a Mike Ditka move, he would have had him.
Hold
Or
on.
just take
What are you
Herbert
talking
there.
about? He offered 3 first
Take
rounders.
the whole draft, baby. Take the whole draft.
Exactly. That's what Ditka did with Ricky Williams.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, how did that work out? Let's not do that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I know.
He would
But
survive
he would have had
that.
him though.
Man,
All I'm saying is we can criticize him for missing on his misses, but let's not ignore the fact that he did put together a pretty good team that had
Bro,
the ability
Devon
to
Holland, Jalen Phillips,
Don't
Jalen Waddle.
forget,
You
Tony.
could go on and on, bro.
Tony is a Greer and a Tua near. Don't forget that.
I
yo.
don't know about the two in there, but I am.
man.
Irresponsible.
I just
Both at the same time.
You know what I am? No, Kuta. You know TD, man. I am objective. Y'all have hate for either y'all hate Tua or y'all hate Grill or both, and y'all cannot judge them objectively. I do because I see. No, I would not. He made some terrible. Listen, what the thing that made me out on Christopher Greer, if you know, is when you gave Tua that extension and didn't let him play on that 5th-year option. I would never forget anyone for doing that. I just don't see the logic behind that. Right. And you had the example. Baltimore made the former MVP play on his 5th-year option. That man had an MVP. And you come the year after that and pay a dude that had one healthy season in 5 years, well, in 4 years at that time.
It was the Rams.
I just
model.
can't agree you for that. I mean,
Hey, Tony, don't you think?
One year
Tony,
after,
Tony, let me ask you something. Don't you think that Greer disrespected the fans last year when the fans, almost all the fans, were saying we need an offensive line? He says he chuckled, saying,
"No, but I
we
don't
need offense. Come on, guys, you guys more worried than we are."
Well,
Yeah, but
I
that's
don't
a
think
concern.
Don't you think that's a disrespect to the fans?
No, I don't think it. You know what? Y'all just in y'all feelings because y'all just want.
You really don't think that, Tony?
Tony.
No,
That the fans know better than him.
Hold on, listen,
Tony,
I explained that to y'all earlier. That
Tony.
offensive line that he had assembled was way better than most of the league that he had. Now
And
the
he didn't
injuries and the
play.
depth, cool, y'all can have that, but you're not
Okay.
going to tell me that the offensive line that he had assembled for Tua was not
I'm
a
talking
good
about. I'm
offensive
talking
line.
about last year when he chuckled and said that
That wasn't
he's
last year. That was
not
the
worried
year
about the
before.
offensive line.
That was the year.
That's what I'm
before.
talking about. I ain't talking about nothing else.
That was
Tony.
the year before. That wasn't last year. Last year he didn't say y'all more worried about the offensive line than we.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. There's videotape on that.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, not last year.
It was last year, buddy.
Okay, well, anyways, the
Go look
offensive
at it.
line-
I'm serious. He did. He chuckled.
Listen, I'm not gonna go back and forth because we're not gonna go back and look for it. So you say that,
Okay.
that's cool. At the end of the day, still, the offensive line that he assembled was still more than serviceable. Now, when they got injured, it's the problem. So kill him on the depth, but don't kill him on the offensive line that he had assembled for Tua because
not?
those
Why-
offensive line are good.
Tony, why do
And
you
you know something,
not on the
Tony.
roster?
To be fair, that wasn't the whole problem with the Miami Dolphins offense. It's not the whole problem. So to be fair, I agree with you.
Tony, why is Robert Hunt not on this roster?
Because he's not worth $20 million a year.
Because
paid him earlier.
that's not always
paid him
true. The
earlier.
Dolphins don't
They
think he's
paid
worth
him.
20 million, but the other team does.
Well, yeah, the Dolphins wasn't paying him $20 million a
He
year.
probably actually was
And-
worth it in the end.
Nah, I don't think I still don't think he's worth $20 million a year. I'm sorry.
Hey,
You're gonna
hey,
pay 20.
hey,
Yeah, hold on. You pay Robert Hunt $20 million a year. Well, how much better? How many more games we win?
TD, if you pay Robert
Maybe
Hunt after
3
his
more.
third year, you're paying like $10 million a year.
No.
I bet you it's a good deal now.
TD,
How?
Yeah.
TD, if you pay Robert
How
Hunt
many
after
more
his
games
third
did
year,
Carolina win with Robert
Because
Hunt?
every
over
year
They
it
won.
goes up,
Hey,
right?
You
And-
just
and
put your foot in
he
your
had a-
mouth,
Yeah,
Tony.
the
They
part-
won.
part of
They
the-
won 500% more games than they won the previous year. How about that?
TD,
Part
you
of the
study-
problem.
You know,
Hold on.
you know
Part
what
of
it
the
is?
problem.
It's a losing franchise.
Part
TD,
of the
you
problem
studied
with
the job.
Robert Hunt is not about
And he
the
was coming
20
off that
million.
injury that how many games he missed? Like 6
But
in a row.
it's not about the 20 million. It's about the fact that you probably could have had him for 12, 13.
Now I would.
2
Now
years
that one is no
prior.
excuse.
2
That
years
part was-
before.
They wore it was
Good point.
they
That
wore
one
is
was
plus
true.
6, Tony.
Good point,
If it
TD.
was one thing you criticize him about, is not getting out ahead of Robert Hunt. Now the Christian
that's
Wilkins,
my
you can
point.
miss me with that because
But
Christian
same
Wilkins
thing with Christian
came on at the
Wilkins.
no, he came
Well,
on at the
Christian
end.
Wilkins was
Christian Wilkins did
unfortunate.
not have the production that Robert Hunt
And
had.
they would have
from
signed him
day
a year
one.
before, probably would have
No,
kept him.
well, it was too late the year
Van
before. He was
Ginkel.
He
asked
had
for too
9
much
and
the
a
year
half
before.
sacks, Tony.
Yeah, the year
all I'm
before.
sure.
I
But
get
Robert
the Christian
hold on.
Wilkins non-sign because he wasn't balling.
Yeah, that's what I'm
he
saying.
still
Like,
had something to prove.
Yeah, you're
Before we
not getting
paid
out of
him.
here.
But Robert Hunt was the most consistent of the two.
Robert Hunt, yes, you have no excuse for not getting out ahead of Robert Hunt. That one is bar none.
Yeah, you have to
should
get
have
ahead
got
of
out ahead of him. He showed you from day one. Y'all put that man at tackle. And he performed that tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I missed me with the Robert Hunt one, but that Christian Wilkins, no, he didn't show you enough to get out ahead of that. You know what I mean?
You know,
So no.
it bothered me when he let Eric Flowers Eric Flowers go. It bothered me. That bothered me. Yeah, he let the left guard Eric Flowers go in Miami, man, during Flores' years there, man.
I was going to say Flores didn't want him.
Seemed like for no good reason, man. Like Eric Flowers is gone, which I thought was an excellent left guard, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Fred, you got a good point there, man.
I thought that was a bonehead move right there.
Not only that, Van Ginkel. Hello.
Van Ginkel was bad. Van Ginkel was
Now
bad.
that was obvious.
Yeah, Van Ginkel was that one. No.
That one hurt more.
Yeah, that was just like
that was like crazy.
I think he got paid the same amount as the edge that retired, right? 10 million?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Shaq Barrett. You talk about Shaq Barrett?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is. I don't know.
Well, how about Kyle Van Noy when he was let go? You think that was a bad move?
Yeah, no, I don't think that was bad. He wasn't that production.
No, I don't think that was a bad move.
But AVG always made plays, man.
Yeah, we agree on the AVG.
For sure.
He was the only one that showed up in the game to make the playoffs against Buffalo.
As a leadership, I think he was good. Yeah,
I'd say
wise.
If the Dolphins do exactly what they did in 2019, we'll be on track.
Yep.
What's that, crypto? What they do? What they do?
What's that?
Tore it down to
I mean, come on, man. He got rid of Baker. Just kidding.
Man,
that's the season we need, 2019.
You still wrote it with Brian Flores then? Because you know he refused to lose.
Oh, right. Well, we got to pay him Mike McDaniel $200,000 per game. We got to up the ante.
That's not Mike McDaniel. We talk about Brian Flores.
Man, I'm just saying we got to pay him.
Brian Flores, man. I miss Brian Flores, man. Good coach, man.
Well, fellas, that time has come. All right, we're going into 2 hours on the stream. We're gonna call it quits right here. First and foremost, thank all y'all for coming up. We're gonna do this more often. Hopefully, y'all.
Thank you, TD, for having me, man. Been following you since day one.
And salute to you, brother. But listen, I need everybody help who watching right now, man. Y'all go over to the Blitz Pickup. Make sure y'all subscribe.
Oh, of course, I follow the Blitz Pickup.
And maybe for those who aren't, make sure you go over. Make sure you show some love. Subscribe to the homie. Listen, man, we all out here is in this community. For those who don't see themselves as a part of the community and they stand alone, that's who we allow to be alone. But I know that Tony and the Blitz Pickup, they're in this community and they doing their thing, providing great content. So y'all do y'all thing and go show some love by subscribing and following them now. All right. The homie CB83 was in here cracking. I think he still is. So y'all go check him out too. Waiting for him to get back on the mic. But yeah, man, all love. I'm about to get out of here and go check on, make sure all these kids sleep. You know, it's summertime.
All right, TD. We
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it, TD.
Hey, TD, don't let him bully you, man, on the other channel because of Tua. Keep it real.
Well, I don't really, unless I rock with you. Like I said, I don't know what's going on other channels. Okay. I just try my best.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do what I do, and I keep winning. That's how I look at it. All right. All right, Tony. I'll see you later, bro.
Brother, appreciate you. You know that.
Always. Thank y'all. Fins up. No matter what, we'll see y'all soon. TD fired me. Stop. Ain't nobody. What did you talk about, man? Ain't nobody fire you. We about to get back cranking for the regular season, man. Dolphins Roundtable about to be doing his thing. Obviously, me, Douglas Durong, CB83. We're gonna be on there, and then we're gonna have guests on a normal basis. So we'll give y'all details on that. in coming weeks because we just actually finished all the promo and stuff for it. So we got to put it out there. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Have a great night. All right. Stay blessed. Peace. I'm out.